Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. And today I'm interested to report that the next battleship might be built in South Korea. Now, the ship that may be built is not a battleship per se, but it's doing one of the core jobs of a battleship that has not been taken over by any other type of ship. Battleships are supposed to project power in a visible way. They're supposed to be able to carry a lot of firepower, particularly in a shore bombardment mission, and they're supposed to be well defended. Many of these jobs of the battleship has been taken over by submarines, such as sinking enemy ships, controlling sea areas, and whatnot. However, submarines do not project power in a visible way. Battleships, particularly in their final Cold War era incarnation, were supposed to project power as a deterrence. South Korea may authorize up to 3 joint strike ships, which is an evolution of the old arsenal ship concept from the 1990s that came out about the same time as the Iowa-class battleships were being decommissioned. When the Iowas were decommissioned from frontline service, they were, by law, required to be held in reserve because nothing could do their job, particularly a shore bombardment part of their job. In 2012, the last of the Iowas are finally removed from the reserve fleet, stricken from the Naval Register, because in theory the Zumwalts are about to come online, and with their rail gun things, with their super special shells, they will take over that shore bombardment role for the battleships. And so the mission has been fulfilled, the law is no longer required. Well, that never exactly panned out. The gun system on the Zumwalts was not functional. The number of Zumwalts being built is not enough. They're great proof of concept test ships, but they will not take over the shore bombardment role. So during this time when the Irish are being taken out of service, the concept of an arsenal ship came up. It was supposed to be lightly manned, capital ship sized, and able to carry hundreds of missiles for shore bombardment. It was going to be stealthy in place of armored, and possibly even able to partially submerge, similar to a submarine, to reduce its profile against enemy attacks. Much of this concept art even shows off the hull number 72, the next hull number in the BB series, with battleship number 71 being the USS Louisiana, the last of the Montana class, and then the Arsenal ships, which some people just refer to as USS Arsenal, taking over at BB 72, according to the concept art. So this idea doesn't catch on in the US Navy. The United States needs to project power over many, many areas, so we need distributed lethality. That means more smaller ships capable of carrying a smaller number of missiles. So for the US Navy that needs to project power all over the place, we want a lot of ships, not 1 or 2 really big arsenal ships. South Korea, however, faces a completely different challenge. They have the dual threat of North Korea right on their border, with an impending invasion any day, essentially. A Korean War that never ended is still in an armistice. And so they have to be constantly on alert against that. And also a growing Chinese Navy next door, in which they are expected to participate as part of an alliance with the United States, Japan, and other countries. So South Korea, with a single area of responsibility and a Navy that is very much smaller and subordinate to their Army, which has to be defending the border at all times, makes sense to build a couple large capital ships that can do the shore bombardment role. This will both support the Army in the event of a land war, and also provide massive firepower in the event of any other contingency. And more importantly, it provides a massive deterrence. North Korea is now a nuclear-capable country, so they can destroy South Korean cities with impunity. South Korea is not nuclear-capable. So South Korea needs another form of deterrence. Their deterrence comes in 3 main forms. One, they have to be able to take out nuclear sites if they believe a threat is real and those missiles haven't launched. 2, they have to be able to take out the missile in the air. And 3, threatening the population of North Korea with some sort of threat doesn't affect their leadership. The leadership doesn't care about the people, or else the people wouldn't be starving there. They wouldn't use human wave tactics. The leadership does care about themselves. So they need a deterrence that can threaten the leadership specifically with guided missile attacks. An arsenal ship is capable of all of this. The Korean arsenal ship, like I said, they're looking at up to 3 of them to start being built in the next couple of years. They're going to carry somewhere around 80 missiles, probably north of that, which is significantly less than the American concept. And they'll be at least 8,000 tons. I suspect that will grow to more than 10,000 tons. But right now, they're looking at taking their upcoming destroyer hull design and rearranging it to be able to carry all these missiles. That way you will have a visible platform that forms all 3 phases of their deterrence and can operate against North Korea with virtual impunity. The United States couldn't do this because we face peer opponents that have submarines and long-range cruise missiles that could threaten surface ships. Our own missile-carrying submarines are not as threatened by that. So that's where we place our deterrence. But South Korea needs something more visible, and North Korea neither poses a significant naval threat nor has long-range, really accurately guided missiles. So an arsenal ship like this could reasonably well defend itself against North Korean air power and missile power, and does not need to fear too much else from North Korea. Can sit off the coast as a visible deterrent and project power far over land with their missile batteries. While this sort of ship is less effective and less of a pointed threat at the resurgent Chinese Navy, it is an answer to ships like the Chinese Type 055 destroyer, which is better classified as a cruiser. The Koreans already have, in my opinion, the best destroyer, or also arguably cruiser, in the world in the King Sejong the Great class, but China has built a ship that carries more missiles. So this may well be South Korea's attempt to put even more missiles at sea. And these mobile seaborne missile batteries will make great anti-missile defense units against a variety of threats. I've always enjoyed the concept of an arsenal ship, and I'm intrigued by the possibility of South Korea building this and the role of the battleship being taken into the 21st century. I'm especially excited that if South Korea builds a ship like this, you may well see other area powers such as China and Japan building ships like this, which, if there are a bunch of capital missile-carrying ships around, that may be the impetus it takes for the United States to build its own arsenal ship at last. What are your thoughts on the arsenal ship concept? A waste of money or a cool successor to the battleship? Let us know in the comment section down below. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State, also from a number of other businesses. We really appreciate the support that we get, and we hope that you guys can support us at the link for the donate button in the description below. You can also support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing so more people find about the museum and our channel. Thanks for watching.